What's up, guys? It's been not a minute, but a little minute. I had a couple of videos this month and the ending of last month. I've been in scripture today. The mind has been heavy, the heart has been heavy, and been battling some things. So I came to scripture, and I'm in the book of Matthew, rereading it, and I'm just getting to chapter 10, but the ending of 9 really stuck out to me. But sometimes I have to take little breaks from TikTok because I see a lot of the sadder side of TikTok Christians than I do the happier side of TikTok Christians. And what I'm seeing is just things that I'm also dealing with and people around me are dealing with. So I just wanted to kind of speak on it. And that is brokenheartedness, just loneliness or depression or sad or emptiness. You have a lot of believers that make you feel like you're in sin because of that. You get a lot of believers that will crucify you for having certain thoughts or thinking a certain way or being down in the dumps, right? They would tell you things like you have to feed your spirit and you're not starving your flesh, and they judge you, and they have absence of love. They have absence of that. A lot of believers, a lot of pastors, they focus in the subject of right and wrong. And that's dangerous for some because they give off Pharisee, and they're quick to point out your wrongs, but they never reward you or talk to you about your good or the great things that you do as a believer. You sin, and they'll make it seem like your sin, like you just lost all salvation. And the thing about these type of pastors or these type of believers is they hide their sin. They make themselves seem perfect. They make themselves seem sinless when they're in sin, and they struggle with people around them in sin. And a lot of times they're not even a good fit for preaching, but they do it anyway. And it's okay because God knows, God sees. We all have our ups and downs, and we all have our failures. But if you have these kind of people in your life where when you're struggling, you're going through these highs and these lows, and they're not trying to fill you, but they're judging you, or they're mad at the decisions you make, they're not coming from a place of Christ. They're coming from a place of arrogance and self. And scripture tells us there'll come a time where man is going to seek to please himself. So I came across a couple Bible verses, Proverbs, Psalms, Isaiah, and Matthews. And I'm focusing on the brokenhearted, right? Because in Matthew, there's a beautiful scripture where God pretty much says, I didn't come to be this Messiah of raging war. We're not wearing armor and swords. We're not going to battle. I didn't come here for sacrifice, but I came here for mercy. And a lot of people don't have that mercy attitude, right? Everyone is focused on the sacrifice, but they don't have the mercy. We hold standards for people higher than what we can even achieve for ourselves. We want so much from people. We want so much for ourselves, but we lack mercy and we lack forgiveness of ourselves. And in verse 9, around 35, a crowd is growing around Christ, right? Growing around Christ. And he looks into the crowd and he's like, these are sheep without shepherds. Many of us are that sheep that wandered away, the 99 and the 1, because we get sometimes stuck in the emptiness. We get stuck in the doubt and the lowness and the loneliness and the sad and just not thinking we're doing enough, not doing the right things. We allow words to build up in our head, and we struggle with capturing and just releasing it to God. especially when there's too many voices in your head from the outside world of people telling you what you should do. I'm going to go to Proverbs. Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bone. What this Bible verse is saying is your inner life affects your whole body. Joy, hope, right? These things heal. They heal. But the spirit, when it's crushed, is less, hopeless, right? We add the LESS to hope, hopeless. It's worn down. And we get stuck in this worn down position of life where work isn't going well, right? Right now, I've been out of work 10 days due to retaliation. Now I got to do all this extra stuff and I'm looking for work and it's difficult. And sometimes we get stuck and we only think of ourselves. We don't understand the purpose of why where we're at. I watch videos of some believers saying they've been out of work for 3 months. 3 months. Whew. Many of us would be homeless if we were out of work for 3 months. And just the way that God provides for us. I know I've been there. I watch God provide. He's providing for me right now. No help. No one. Just me. And I watch God help. We get stuck in this position of brokenness. Our bones are dried up. We have to have hope in tomorrow. We can't dwell day in and day out on the negative. It'll break you down. It will destroy your spirit. It will wear you down and you will lose. And we have to have an understanding that this is what Satan wants. He's going to ride on that. He's going to be in your ear whispering. We have to put ourselves in position of hope, healing. Sometimes we have to fill ourselves, especially when others are draining the cup. And that's okay. People are not perfect. We're designed to be perfect. When we accept Christ, we should become perfect. That should be our goal, to become that, right? But we preach that we can never be that we can't be that. And we'll get told that Jesus is the only perfect person. And it's just not biblical, right? We twist scripture. We just have to have an understanding that mercy is the key for our lives. Psalms 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. I've been in this position so many times. Constant, just mopey, broken, and God refills. Mopey, broken, God refills. God isn't disappointed when we're hopeless. God isn't disappointed when we're stuck in these positions of just emptiness and loneliness and tiredness and felt like we don't have love or respected or cherished or understood. God isn't disappointed. He doesn't remove himself from you. God moves closer. He saves those who are crushed in spirit. But we have to be willing to go to him in our lowest. We have to be willing to call on him when we're empty. We have to be willing to chase him when we are on the run. We get stuck in these positions. We overfeed the mind negative when we should feed it the word. This is when we should seek him the most. Isaiah 57:15. For this is what the high and exalt ones say. He who lives forever, whose name is holy. I live in the high and holy place, but also with the ones who is contrite and lonely in spirit, to revive the spirit of the lonely and to revive the heart of the contrite. What it's saying here, what God is saying right here is that not only is he dwelling in heaven, in the holy place, with the ranked ones, right? Not only is he on his throne in a high place. But he's also here on earth with the lonely, with the broken spirit, with the ones that are saddened, the ones who are hurt, the ones who are begging for a new tomorrow, the ones who are crushed in spirit, the ones who have tried everything, right, and have not made it out of the box. The one who is drowning, nose above water. God is with that person as well. That he will revive, right? The lonely in spirit, to revive the spirit of the lonely and to revive the hearts of the context. He will revive you. Meaning you're not going to be in the position that you in for long. Scripture tells us that we got to suffer, and we will suffer. We wasn't promised peace on earth. I'm going to take you to Matthew. Matthew 9:37. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, so send out workers into the harvest field. Plentiful, meaning us, the brokenhearted, the lonely, the sad, the depressed, the mentally ill, the sick, the ones that are sinning, the ones that are alone and depressed and just don't have a way out, the ones that are struggling in their 9 to 5, the ones that don't have no family, no friends, the ones that are struggling in their marriages and their friendships, the ones that are struggling in life, the ones that don't know the truth. The harvest is plenty. It's a lot of us. But the workers, there's few. There are a few workers. There's a few people out here that are going to deliver this message. There's a few people that are going to help you, give you a hand. There's a few people that are going to spill joy, love, peace, grace, mercy, teach you. There's a few people that's going to spread the word. There's a few people that's going to do God's work. There's a few. And that's why so many are empty. It's why so many are lost, like sheep without a shepherd. How do we get ourselves out of the dump? How do we fill ourselves? How do we revive ourselves? How do we fix our situation? We don't run from it. Many of us run from the problem. We should embrace it. We should come head first into it. If it's anger, invite it. Talk to it. Figure it out. Go to the Lord on it. If it's a problem with a person, don't run from the situation. Call that person up. Send a text. Hit them up. Hey, this is my problem against you. I forgive you. Regardless of how they respond, that's on them. You did your part. Move on. Forgive yourself. If you're mad at yourself because you're struggling in an area where you're doing something wrong, address it with yourself. Call God to be the counsel of it. Tell him to show you where your heart posture's at. If it's work, this is my issue right here. If it's work, we all need work, right? We got to put food on the table. We got to provide for our friends and our families, ourselves, our children. If it's work, if you're having a hard time with work, it's okay. Because the good news is the Lord is going to provide for you. He's always going to give you water. He's always going to give you shelter. He's always going to give you drink. He's always going to make sure that you're clothed. It might not be to the standard that you want it, but he's going to give it. You have to put in the work. And there's always a way to make money. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes you were already supposed to be in your purpose, but you've been struggling to find work that you haven't realized your calling or your purpose. Sometimes it's deeper than that. Sometimes, let's say you want to work at Apple. Let's say you've been working at Apple. In Target, there's been a girl praying her eyes out to the Lord to surround her with more believers. Maybe she works in a company where the majority of the employees are Muslims or non-believer, and it's giving her a hard time, and she's been praying. And God just knows that you're the right person. Now you're having trouble at work. You have gotten the thought and the conviction of quitting, but you just keep sticking in there, and he's going to keep giving you issues there. Now you quit. Now you're working in Target. You have reached your purpose. Maybe you can play the guitar, but you don't want to drive an hour to church. And you're supposed to be part of the choir. So God is going to not help you out with your bills. He's going to make your roof leak. I'm not saying that this is what he's going to do, but you're just not going to get what you're getting in that position. He's going to have to put you in a position of where you need to go at. We know this is biblical. We've seen it with Samson. Now you move, you're closer to the church, and now you're playing the guitar in the choir. God is going to lift a hand, especially when you're praying for something. When you're praying for something and it fits his will, he's going to give it to you. What are you going to do with it? A lot of us are praying for something and we got it, but we mistreat it. A lot of us are praying for something and we got it and we self-sabotage. I'm in the season of that, dealing with that, self-sabotage. I'm in that season where I prayed for something and it's not going as planned. We fall into that. It's okay, but we have to take it forward. We can't sit in it and dwell in it and be petty and just condemn to ourselves. Just call on God. He'll fix it. But you have to be obedient. You have to want the change.